Welcome to Bond and Build with Chris and Cappy.
This is Chris.
And I'm Cappy, the better half. Okay, so today is going to be our introduction podcast. This is podcast 0. This is the start of many podcasts.
It is.
Let's hope so. As long as people tune in and listen to us, I guess we shall be here. So please tune in, listen, and share.
It's taken a long ride to get us to actually get this going. It's not as simple as people make it seem. You just pick a recording and go. It has definitely not been that. I'm the tech guy, so I know the hard part. She's just showing up and looking cute.
He said cute. Yeah, 3 weeks in the making on the behind the scene technology part for Chris. Nothing to do with me. So our podcast is about relationships, anything like marriage, relationships, friendships, business and entrepreneurship, and any taboo topics, like, they're dirty topics nobody wants to talk about at the dinner table, religion, politics, anything in between. And we will be going down the rabbit hole because I took Chris down the rabbit hole a while back and now we're all in it, including our son.
Yes, I don't know if it's been a good thing or a bad thing, but here we are.
I guess we'll find out. The only thing I ask is to stay open when you're listening to us. I always ask people to have an open mind and to explore what could be, and everything isn't always what it seems. I guess I'm talking about more about the world and stuff. So just have an open mind and go with it. We're definitely not the only podcast about this kind of stuff now. There's so much out there, which is awesome. But when I first started going down the hole, there was not much information about that.
Yeah, we'll try to stay as neutral as possible, I believe, but there's a difference between what's real and the bubble you want to be in.
Oh, and then full disclosure, a lot of things will be our opinion. I always tell people to do your own research. We're just here to open your mind, maybe bring up something that might be new to you, hopefully, because that's the idea. We always want to be learning, but always do your own research and whatever works for you and your family.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Okay, so why did we start this podcast? Chris and I, we don't argue, but we debate about everything. We have the same opinion, but not the same opinion. I don't know how to explain it, but it works for us. I said we're the yin and the yang, but we debate literally everything, every topic. 3-hour YouTube video turns into 6 hours because we have to pause everything and talk about it and give our opinions and our TED Talks. So we're I told him, why not start a podcast? I mean, we got shit to say, so we might as well just start a podcast and have people join in the conversation.
Yeah, that was definitely what started it because, yeah, we always, as you said, it takes we'd be 2 minutes into a documentary or something, and then we start talking, it's for 5 minutes, and then it just adds up. So we had the idea of, you know what, let's start a podcast, and I guess here we are, but it's been in the works for at least a year already.
Yes.
We renewed the domain, I don't know, maybe a month ago. So yeah, it's been, the easy part was, I guess, the idea, but getting the work done has been harder.
The logo and everything, that was last year, I think February or something, when we ask our friends. We put a couple designs together, random backgrounds, since it fits in it. Chris, well, actually, we both do graphic design because I learned from you. But yeah, so we put a logo as is a part of our business. I love that part. When we come up with shit, we can do whatever we want. So we put a couple logos together, and then we had our friends pick whichever one they preferred. And then this began. I'm not even sure you can see it on our side, but
Yeah, you can see it in the full view.
so I guess since it's an intro video, we're gonna go a little bit over each topic so people can have a feel of our point of view on things. And then that would lead us into episode 1.
But then we go a little bit about us first, or?
I guess that kind of goes all into it.
Okay.
But that's a good point. So do you want to go first? Or is it ladies first?
Ladies first.
That's just because you don't want to go first, not because you're a gentleman. Don't let this guy fool you guys. Okay, so I'm Cappy. I'm Haitian. I say I'm mostly French too, because I really grew up in Paris from a baby. Then I moved to Miami. I'm not going to recap my whole life, but then came Chris, baby, marriage. I quit my job because there was a manager that was really like against me. They tried to get me to stay there. I didn't want to because she was bad shit nuts. So I ended up looking for more work. I didn't find anything, but while I was looking, I'm a Capricorn. I hate not doing anything. So I decided to start helping Chris, who was doing his own marketing thing from home. And I haven't left since. So I think we've been working together for maybe at least 16 years. So we've been married 18 years, working together 16 years. We have one son, an amazing son who's 19, Ty.
The beast.
These
The
days,
Hulk, I
I
should
say
say.
I've raised the
The
Hulk.
Hulk, I should say,
Yeah,
yeah.
because that's literally what people call him at this point. He's obsessed with working out, which is better than being obsessed with other stuff. So I'm not complaining. He's a good kid. And so we've been married and working together for this whole time. I've seen people who do it, and I know it works for some people, but I know some couples who couldn't do it. But I've seen a lot of people do it. I think for us, what I believe has made it work is I really tried to separate and compartmentalize. Work with me on the English, people. The French still takes over. I guess like marriage versus business. So like if you like in the beginning, it used to be a little bit more difficult, but I think as you grow as a person, then you learn to do better. Well, at least that's the idea. So and become better. And I've done a lot of work on myself. So now I'm able to separate both. So he can come at me saying something about work and I can take it. I might not always like it, but I can separate like, personal and business really for the most part. And I think we do okay with that. Like, I think we've learned enough to separate both and we like to travel. I'm going to do this like a dating app. I like long walks on the beach. Nice a joke.
But I think the key was knowing your partner and what their buttons
Yeah,
getting pushed are. So you kind of know when you want to do it and not when to do it. So I guess the key is some people just don't really care. That's the wrong kind of partner to have. So I guess like the triggers, like when I get moody, she used to just keep it like, "Are you okay?" You can get really freaking annoying. But eventually she kind of realized she just does it once now and then she kind of just backs off. That's kind of key. Like some people just get really annoying.
I just let him have his moment and then move on and then we'll come back to it.
Yeah, sometimes I just need a nap and I'm back.
Definitely can nap their life away. Obviously, from the comments, you can see I'm super into astrology. And yeah, I went down the rabbit hole. I'm not sure how long ago, but it's been a good time. From one of my family members brought me down. It started with a dollar bill and the towers on fire on the dollar bill. And from then, I have just been going down the rabbit hole. And a couple of years into the rabbit hole, not at the beginning, I took Chris down with me, and Chris has been, in the beginning, was hating it because I guess sometimes ignorance is bliss. But yeah, um, because of personal reason, we got super into health in the house. It started really with me. I found out I had fibroids. A lot of women have it, and most women don't realize. I found out the hard way. So that took us down the health rabbit hole, which is a big part of the rabbit hole. Super into Maha now. Let's make America healthy again. That would be big topics on the podcast for us. Everything health. Obsessed with organic food. Always trying to do better. I was vegetarian for it's like I've tried so many things, but the holistic way has helped me where the I guess Western medicine hasn't. And I believe there's a need for Western medicine. Like, if I break an arm, I want a doctor to help me. I'm not going to try to fix it myself, but there are things that we can fix. God has put, like stuff on the earth to fix ourselves when it comes to like certain things that we don't need Western medicine necessarily or drug ourselves. So that's going to be a big topic. Religion will be a big topic. I try to not go too deep into religion because I believe that as humans, we need hope and we need to have like something that make us feel better. So I try to not bash religion too much, but the rabbit hole involves a lot of religion.
The problem with religion is that it's very, I don't want to say opinion based, but it's very, I guess the thing is, I guess opinion based because everything, it came from a one original book and then everybody has their own opinion, their takes, their twist on things. So it kind of gets very blurred to where the original message was from God or whoever you believe in. Everybody feels that this is how it should be. From let's say the regular Christianity, then now it gets tweaked into something more modified because the times have changed. But it's like, that's the part that religion that I have a weird relationship with, where it's like, things get twisted and who's right, who's wrong. And then if you're because you're religious, then why is it that you fight with these other people? You should still love them regardless. You know, that's another topic for another day.
So I don't believe in religion necessarily, but I do believe in a higher power. So that's why I said people have their faith. I do have faith. But religion itself, there's, yeah, a lot to unload behind that. Things that were done in the name of God that is absolutely ridiculous. But that's, yeah, a different topic for another day. I think I covered basically all my opinions and a little bit background. So you, babe.
All right, so Chris, I am originally from St. Martin in the Caribbean. A lot of people tend to know where that is based on a cruise or
I was
something.
gonna say cruising people,
Yeah,
no.
cruise people, or maybe you've seen that famous plane that people on the fence and it just like they're getting blasted by the jets coming off the runway. That's where I'm from. I moved here when I was 18. I went to FIU, got my degree in finance related to entrepreneurship. Then I kind of took a little hobby or a side thing of, I guess, graphic design through an internship that I had in the summer. I started doing party flyers, party promotion, designing those things. And through that, I built a website. I guess kind of like that. You get to meet people, do things, be creative. At the time, I guess I had a lot of help from my parents. So I guess it let me be able to, I guess, pursue what I liked versus having to rush into something. So yeah, from that, I just started dabbling in graphic design more. Business started getting decent money from that. Then we started getting machines. Cappy came along. And we just kind of been working on it, grinding it out, trying to grow it since. And I started it in 2005. We're now in 2025.
25.
So
Oh
it's
shit,
been
20 years.
20 years. Gives an idea, I guess, how old I am at this point.
I think the facial hair gives an idea of how old you are,
Just so you
honey.
guys know, I've had grays for at least a good like 10,
Not like this,
10,
though.
15 years, but it's getting more. But,
More salty than
yeah, I
pepper.
guess they call it salt and pepper.
More salty. These days.
Uh, but, I could dye it like some guys do, which don't let them fool you. Anybody's over 40, typically, they're great. They just, I know, I'm putting them out.
No. Because there's explanation and you're white. It's okay, honey.
No, it's true. A lot of guys hide it.
They
All
do.
those celebrities you thinking are still looking good. No, they're old. They're great. They just dye their beards or whatever it is they're doing. It's okay. That's how it is.
Okay, cover some of your point of view on, I guess, the main topics. Briefly.
Main topics. Marriage, I guess. Marriage is cool. You know?
Did you say marriage is cool? Oh Lord.
Marriage has its up and down. You know, I think it's good to have somebody that keeps you balanced. Especially, it really depends on what you want to do in life. Because sometimes mental stability is important. I think if you have a good person, it helps to support you on your dreams and where you're going. But sometimes you have somebody who's not on the same page as you, and uh, it's kind of crazy how important having the right person is to get you, I guess, going in life. Because if you have a wife who's just very naggy and changes your mood and doesn't believe in you, I don't think you can get where you're gonna get. And see what else. I don't know, parenting style. I'm a very
Oh, I didn't even cover that.
yeah, parenting style. I am very, I guess more old school. Don't really like the whole timeout thing. You know, you get a beating, I guess is what it is. Whether that's however you guys believe in that. I'm from the islands, so that's just how it is. I believe you need a bit of a firm thing. The kids need to respect you, but I believe that's the best way of doing it, in my opinion. There has to be a little bit of a fear in you to know who your level is, I guess. Yeah, we have that one kid. He's been a good kid so far. One kid,
This poor child.
one kid so far. You know, it would have been good to have had a daughter, but you know,
We're gonna do him so wrong on this podcast.
well, you talk about what you know. So I guess the pharmacy stuff, as you said, we definitely don't. We try to be as more holistic as possible. Avoid a lot of the, I guess, the chemically induced products, you know, the red dyes, the organics. You know, sometimes sometimes you could avoid them as much as possible. I mean, the idea is not to go crazy about it. I mean, you can't go out and say, hey, what is everything? How many organic restaurants really are there? You know, I mean, you still have to enjoy life, but when you're at home, you could definitely try and control what you eat. You know, even, you know, if you want to make your own cake versus getting the cake that's out there, at least you can control, you know, what flour, what egg, whatever it is, the dyes they're putting in it, the preservatives. Um, Let me see what else. Yeah, I've been in business for a very long time, so that's my stance on that. I guess you get a lot of entrepreneurial topics, how it is working in business with a partner, side hustles. I'm very all over the place. Cappy knows that. I mean, I like to think I'm very handy and can do a lot of different things. So I'm kind of all over the place. I build things. I built this table. I built the sign. I built the website. I'm kind of all over the place.
Actually, I build a website,
Oh, well,
but I learned from
actually,
you.
you're right. You built this one.
But I learned from you.
I did the base and you went ahead and fixed it up.
Okay, whatever you want to say. Anyways,
Next.
next. Okay, so I guess we can cover basics, I guess, together on the topics. We've been married 18 years. We had a post on social media about our top 3 relationship advice. I don't really remember what I put, but I know one of mine was pick your battles, because I think that is very important. Like Chris said earlier, you don't want to be nagging. Not everything needs to be an argument. It's highly unnecessary. First of all, nobody has that kind of energy. Nobody cares, and it's really not worth it. So pick your battles. Obviously, some things are important to stand up for, but yeah, pick your battles. I don't remember what my 2 other one was. I don't really have any relationship advice right now. I don't know. I'm not in a vibe. I really have to be in a vibe to do things that you guys might think it's crazy, but it will come to me along the way. Like, I'm super chatty, so like random things will come to me. But right now, the really pick your battles. And I think another one, because I've given that advice to people in the past, work on yourself, because that was a big thing for me in this marriage. If you're a crappy person and you're not happy, nobody else is going to make you happy or is going to make you less crappy. Like, you have to work on yourself. Unpopular opinion that people don't seem to realize. If you keep jumping from relationship to relationship and they're not working, I'm so sorry to tell you, but most likely it's not the other person, other relationships, it's you. You might want to work on something in yourself to bring something better to the table. So I believe in working on yourself is important. Nobody else should be, you should be happy by yourself, with yourself. If you can be happy, like if I, Cappy, can make Cappy happy, if I can stay in, like spend the day by myself and be like super happy with myself, which by the way, I think I'm awesome and I'm the funniest person on planet Earth.
Real clown.
You know, like nobody else can make you happy. And I really had to learn that, like, as humans, we look for fulfillment and happiness in other people. And it doesn't work like that. You have to fill your cup up before you can help anyone else. It's the same thing as they tell you in the plane, put on your respirator, whatever, and then you can help somebody. So it's the same thing with life. If you have to take care of yourself. So, you know, like mentally, physically, emotionally, take care of yourself, and then you can take care of everybody else. And when you come as the best version of yourself, you come as the best version of yourself in your relationship, in your parenting, in your business, in every way. So, yeah, self-development has been like, I think it's very important. It's been a game changer and it makes me feel better. So whatever people want to call it, self-development, self-love, all of it, you need to practice it. Um, and I don't really have a third one right now, but it'll come to me. What were your three top? Maybe we should have looked at it on the Instagram first.
But this is, if you notice, Charlie Cappy just came out. She got super excited into what she was saying.
Really?
That was Charlie Cappy. I don't remember what mine was. You caught me off guard and what made me say three things randomly. The one I remember was, I guess, listen to your partner was one thing I think I said. Yes, I listened very well.
I know I'm just talking shit.
Yeah. By listening, I mean listening and remembering. Maybe you don't always look like you're paying attention, but I listen to everything
Yeah,
she
I'll be
says.
surprised.
Little things that she says, I'll come back and just, maybe do it or something to surprise her often. Like, I know she likes flowers, so like we started growing roses, and every day now there's new roses out. I cut them and I put them in a glass.
It's so
And I
funny
put
you
them on
brought
a
that
table.
up. I was about to say I will not be lifting Chris up in this podcast because I do not need no her bags in the DMs. So I will be keeping Chris down. You're a horrible husband.
Yeah, but listening is important because listening also helps, I guess, gives the little boost that they need and
Oh yes, the little things in
what things they
relationship.
like.
That's true. That's what the relationship tips. It's the little things. It's the you come downstairs and the kitchen is clean. It's just the little things.
And things that other person likes that you don't have to say, but they just do it. I think is important.
Very. That's what keeps 18 years of marriage. Oh, and the another thing, you're not like keep the romance going. Yeah, there's some stories out there. Ratchet, crazy, sad. Any other tips that you can think of?
On the spot? No.
Okay, so I guess we'll move on from that. So parenting will be another part of relationship. Yeah, Chris said he's very Caribbean. So am I, except that when Ty was growing up and I knew he needed a little bit of beating, I couldn't do the beating because it was going to break my heart. He's so cute. Well, he was so cute. So I would just have Chris do it and I'll just look away. But yeah, we don't do. I will make some comments that like people these days will get you canceled for or will consider a certain way, but I don't really care because it's my podcast and I can say whatever I want. But yeah, I really think there's like a white parenting versus a black parenting, let's be real, and a Caribbean parenting. So we're very black and Caribbean. We don't do corners. We don't do timeouts. I find it useless. I've once seen a kid roll in the middle of the floor at a store. That would have never happened in my house because my son would just know I would just, like pin him, like Chris said, put a little fear. When we went out, when he was little, I would just need to look at him and he knows it's either he comes down or it's gonna be a problem. So we've never had that issue. I think we did great in parenting, not to toot our own horn, but he came out great. People have always given us praise for our son.
Yeah, he was overall a good kid. He didn't really give us much trouble. I don't know if it's because of the parenting or not, but
I like to think it's us.
He got his little beats, but it was never anything really
Oh, no, no, it
major.
was nowhere near like what I got. Apparently, you never got beat, but when I met Chris, I thought Chris was an only child. There's apparently three of them, but this to tell you how spoiled he is.
I was the
Sorry,
baby.
Oma, full facts. The child is spoiled.
I was the baby. As the 10-year gap between my brothers
The
and my
oops
sister,
child,
whatever you want to
Chris came
say.
out of nowhere.
They needed more love.
I guess God thought so. He came out of nowhere. They came Chris.
No, but you know how it is with I guess you can see with parents, parenting over time changes, I would believe. I think if we had another kid again, they
The
would
kid
not
will
be
be
treated,
raised different.
they'd be raised differently compared to Ty. I think it would be different. And I think that's difference when I guess the gap too is like you had your first two kids, so they get the rough side of things. And, and after that, it's like, I guess you've also grown since the first kid. Hopefully that's how things work in life. You should grow from that time you had the first kid, the mistakes you had maybe with the first one, or things you wish you did differently after you've seen them growing up and how that worked out.
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes after those 4 or 5 years, you realize, you know what, maybe if I did this particular thing different, maybe this kid might have came out differently. So you might change the way, you did things. And I've seen that with some people that, their first kid versus the one they had afterwards, they treat that one differently. It's not because um the baby spoiled one. It's just because you've realized certain things that you should have changed, or maybe the cuddling was too much, on the first one or the second one. So you kind of try things up a little, change it up a little bit.
Yeah, I think you've become a different person and you've learned, I think. Yeah.
And I definitely think the boy versus the girls make a difference. So I've seen the dad, of course, the dad syndrome with the dad with the girls, the little princess versus the boy, boy definitely gonna get his ass beat. The princess might, do whatever.
Yeah. Or she has no freedom.
And the mommy becomes the bitch in the relationship. I guess that's how that works. The
Good
boys,
cop, bad cop.
yeah, the mom is the bad one, and then with the boys, the dad is the bad one. I guess it makes sense. I don't know if it does, but that's kind of just how it works.
Yeah. Honestly, yeah, it really is how it works most of the time. But yeah, when it comes to girls, I think we have a little bit of different aspect. But we always say that if we had a girl, and especially now, Ty being older, Ty would be the hard one in raising her. Yeah, like he would definitely be the rough one compared to us and Kristen and I. I believe that if the boy had certain freedom, so should the girl. And you should rely on how you raise your daughter to know better. Chris is a typical guy, so I know between him and Ty, this poor girl would go like nuts. Yeah.
I don't know what she's talking about.
No, he knows. And most dad know. So friendships. When you're young, everybody's your friend.
Yeah.
I had to teach my son that, like, when he was little, some kids didn't like him and stuff. And I'm like, it's okay, honey. By the time you're older, you won't even want that many friends. You just need a good 5 friends, like, you can rely on quality over quantity. But when you're younger, everybody's your friend. I see a lot of people who have like longtime friends now. I don't have the luxury. I don't know. I think because you change, like people fall over time. Some people don't, some people do, but you start having different point of views. You get married, people move away. Yeah, politics, medicine
Yeah. Medicine. Yeah.
become different. You have different point of views, and I guess people like fall apart. And then you have some people who stick around through thick and thin. You have the people who stick with you when you have different points of view and realize that's okay. And they're the people who can't, and that's fine.
Yeah. That's the thing that I really hate that part of the whole friendship thing is that I don't feel that because you have one particular view, it's like, let's say, Trump versus Biden, whatever. That's because, let's say you like Trump, does not mean that everything else that we had as a friend should go out the door. Like we're still the same person. We still have everything else in common, but for whatever reason, because oh, I like this person. I was like, you know what? I can't deal with this too. It's like, that's not how things should be. If life was that one little thing, like nobody could ever get along because there's always something that, you just don't like. Nobody's always going to be a perfect match in whatever way.
Yeah, we're not in a cult. Like, it doesn't have to be like 100% the same people.
Like, shit, it's not a cult thing. Like, we can also be in this group and that group. I mean, just because I'm not in this particular club or whatever it is, we know we can't be friends. Like, I mean, we just don't talk about it. That's just what it is. You just don't talk about those things then. Because you can't mesh with the particular topic, then that's fine. But you have to find a way to balance it, especially with good friends. It makes no sense to drop somebody because of their, what is political or their medical beliefs or religion. I mean, you just don't talk about those things. It's okay. Like, you just know at a point, like, all right, this one, I can't talk about this particular topic because they're going to start flipping out. But other than that, you should be able to get along, in a room and still be friends. But these days it's, you got to get dumped because, you know what, I can't stand you because of this one thing. And that's not how it is. But I guess maybe it gets different when you get older, and I guess you get more stuck in your ways, and you're like, fuck it, I guess you're not my tribe, but I don't know. It's stupid to lose long-term friends over simple little things because of your views, or whether it was vaccination, or now I'm Muslim or whatever it is, I'm a Christian, so we can't be friends. Like, it's not that serious.
It really isn't. And to me, I actually love like learning different things from different people. So if you have a different point of view, I like that better because I don't want like everyone to be like me. Like I want to learn things. So if you have a different point of view or you're for somebody else, I can learn from how you see life and from how you're looking at the world and your point of view. And I can learn things and then you can learn from me. I think, well, Chris too, we think that's how things should be. But apparently this day and age, things are like that shit crazy. I don't know how this works for the podcast, but full disclosure, if you haven't noticed, I curse a lot. So I don't know what Chris is going to do about that. I don't know how it works on certain platform. I don't know, but this is just me. The only time I try not to curse is when I'm doing business because it's highly inappropriate. But otherwise, this is me in the wild. Sorry. I try to keep it down, but sometimes, yeah.
I have no idea how that works on platforms. We have not gotten there yet. I don't know if YouTube's going to give us strikes for that.
We're
I
going to
don't,
find out.
I don't know. I'm assuming that the software we use might be able to edit those things out if we needed to, but I guess we have to figure out if it's even a problem.
But I don't even know if I want to be edited. Like, this is me, guys.
I
Like,
don't know.
welcome to Cap World. But yeah, and then one thing with relationships is when people tell you like the relationship changes because you've changed. God forbid, we've been friends for 20 something years and I have changed. How dare I? I am not the same person as I was when I was 13 years old. Yeah, I hope I've changed. Shit, I hope I changed from last year because I have better goal this year. And if I haven't changed, I'm going to be the same weight and I'm not going to lose that weight. So I hope I've changed. Like, I want to change. I want to become a better person. I want to have better style. Like, yeah, I want to be like a better version. So you're supposed to change. So I hate when people tell you, oh, you've changed. I hope you change. I hope you've become an improved version of yourself from last year. I hope you've improved from yesterday's shit. Like, like, yeah.
The sad part about that is, I think the problem is that everybody evolves at different times in their life, and that you might have had a falling out at that particular time because you reached, this level. But then, maybe like a couple of years later, they'll eventually reach that level. But then it's like too late. And then both people are like too stuck on, I guess, building that gap when they kind of reached in, because I guess, especially with the kids and parenting, like you might have, like with us, our kids is a lot older than most people. So I guess we did things a lot differently. So I guess kids tend to bring you down to a certain level. So eventually, I guess maybe you reach maybe more maturity versus just still kind of a little crazy. So when you reach that level and you're both on the same page, more or less, you guys could never get back that friendship because both of you get just stingy and just like, fuck it. Friendship is gone
Yeah, you're
because
stuck in the
you're stuck in your ways
whatever.
because of whatever happened. But now you got more mature and you grew up and your ways changed and you realize that, hey, I messed up that whole thing because I was just being stupid, for some petty stuff.
And then you may have too much pride to go back or whatever. But it is what it is. But change is good, guys. Well, for the most part. But yeah, we want to change. We want to involve. And hopefully we can change your minds on some things, open the rabbit hole. It's not good for everybody, but I like going because I love to learn and I love to find out new things. Like I'm obsessed with learning. Not so good at applying all the time, which is something I'm working on, but learning, I love learning.
Yeah, I think big disclaimer, it's I guess we're here to find our tribe, people who mesh with us is kind of the best way of it. Not every podcast is going to be for everybody. So, as we said, be open to different things we talk about. We try to be as neutral as possible, but in an opening way. Um, I don't think we have as harsh views as most people, but we do have our own opinions on different topics. But we're here to open each other's minds and say what we have to say. Find people who can connect with us and like what we have to say.
Hopefully learn from people too. So if anybody end up listening to this podcast and we get some comments, we can learn some stuff too. Like, yeah, like this isn't a
Some
one-way
comments,
street.
no nasty comments, please.
Don't be mean. Don't hurt our feelings. Not that I really care much, but yeah, just don't be stank still. I mean, it does matter a little bit.
But put comments that helps us in the algorithm, I guess. So good stuff, possibly. Stuff you've liked. Any tips, comments would be great. Positive comments, I should say.
Yes, positivity. Oh my God, that funny guy we watch, the
Oh,
song,
just
the
to add
song
in,
started falling in my head. Reggae song he does with positivity.
you guys, is inside joke. It's this comedian that we watch from Trinidad. Yeah. All I was saying is, if there's any topics you guys would like us to cover, I know it's still new in what we're doing. Anything you'd like us to discuss, put in the comments and we'll look them over and
Try to cover that.
try to cover that at some point through our different bases of the show.
So business and entrepreneurship, what's our take on that? Intro kind of. Signs, marketing stuff, printing, personal gifting, products, web design. Honestly, anything marketing, anything you can put a logo on, that's what we've done. I've learned on the go with Chris over the years. He taught me how to design websites. Honestly, he taught me how to do graphic designs. Dude, I can do anything now. I can design stuff, flyers. I can build a site. I used to build site in, what was it, Dreamweaver? Oh my God. I'm like an OG. I'm not that old though, guys. I'm still the youngest one in my group friends. And in this relationship, I pride myself on that. Yeah, so we do everything marketing. We do dabble in different stuff. One thing I hate is I have a lot of self-doubt and confidence issues in a lot of ways, which I try to work on. I think we all do. But I have my own issues. And what I really hate, and it sounds stupid, is, people like can't do things because they don't have the support of their family or their spouse. I freeze in things and then I hate myself because my family, my mother was super supportive. She always knew I would achieve great things. And then my husband is like super supportive. So it's not like I can be like, oh, I failed because everybody wasn't. No, no, no. Everybody's super now. I'm just failing everyone. So I think that's the problem. Like some people don't have like anyone supporting them. Like I will have an overwhelm of support and I just don't want to fail everyone. So I'm working on that. But I think working with your spouse isn't so bad. I mean, we spend 24/7 together,
That's when
except
you
when
have
we
an
have
awesome
meetings
husband. Let's be specific.
or an amazing wife. Now, that's when I think you've done a lot of self development work each, and you can meet now in the middle. And that kind of is back to relationship, but let's be real. Our relationship isn't perfect, but compared to some people, it pretty much is. But our first year of marriage, was like hell. So we don't have, I don't think there's the perfect marriage. I think you grind it out every day and kind of like business, like you grind it out. This is entrepreneurship and business. Like, yay, this is like the craziest ride. It's not the shit you see on Instagram, like I'm going on a private jet and I'm just living my best life every day. No, it's 2 o'clock in the morning. I gotta finish this stupid website. Oh my God, I forgot to create this newsletter. Like, it's like 20,000 things like jumping at you. You have to meet payroll. You have, like, it's, I don't know, like people love to make it seem like it's sexy, but it's not. You know what's great about entrepreneurship and owning your own business is the time freedom. So when our son was growing up, I did not miss one graduation. I didn't miss one Mother's Day event. I didn't miss anything because I had that time freedom. This is the one, if you want something out of being an entrepreneur, owning your business, for me, because family is a big thing, time freedom to be with your child every day, all the time, and see them growing up. That was the best part of entrepreneurship and business.
Yeah, I don't know how it is with every entrepreneurial person. I mean, I don't know how much people actually have couple side of things, but like with us, since we both do it, he was always around from the beginning. Me in my apartment, he was in the back on the bed, um, to when I had a space, or I had to go make a delivery, time when he went with us, I have pictures of him, giving somebody a package or
Our vendors know him,
a vendor. A lot of our vendors
clients.
know him because we go pick it up together and they see him grow up. We have pictures of him, cutting a banner and stuff when he was young or helping us late night because we have a bunch of things to do, like,
Trade shows.
trade shows,
He
we have,
travels with us
yeah, not so much now because he's older doing his own thing. But,
when he
in the
was little.
beginning, when he was younger, he helped a lot. And because he was always around, we had that flexibility of having him around. And I don't know if every business would be like that, or at least because we're both parents and father together. But I mean, it was cool. I mean, he's seen us evolve. He's seen the business evolve. He knows it very well compared to most parents and kids who don't even know what their parents do. So he's seen it. He knows it. A lot of our vendors know him from pretty young, seeing him growing up and this big old giant, like, who the hell is this dude? Now. So it's pretty cool. This flexibility is important. I mean, as you said, we pick him from school. It was not too far from the business. He'd come there, do homework, hang out, take a nap, whatever. We had those things where it wasn't like a big deal to have him around. As when some people, honestly don't understand how some parents manage with their kids when school is out. Like, what are you really doing with the kid? I mean, sometimes there's the thing after school for maybe 2 hours, but then it's like,
You
how do
have
you
to
even
rush.
how do you even manage to go pick up your kid? Like, who picks up your kid sometimes if you don't have anybody? Like, how does that work? Like, I don't
Yeah,
know.
I think that's a stress on its own. Yeah, we just leave work and then I have to go pick him up from school. If I can, because I have a meeting, Chris can pick him up. We were always a family business. So at some point, my brother worked with us, so he could pick him up. Like, yeah, the flexibility, I would never change that just for, because I love my son. He's like my best friend. Sorry. So, like, yeah, having that time with him, like, I wouldn't change that. And like Chris said, I truly don't understand how other parents do it. And I realized after that's why people didn't show up to things. You have a Mother's Day event at 9 a.m. Dude, people just got to work. Like, what are the chances of me showing up for the Mother's Day thing? It's so unfair. So, yeah, if you can start your side hustle and turn it into a business and you have kids, I say do it just for that. But another thing too is some people now, because people, I'm like, I'm very modern, but also very conservative in my views. So I don't think there's anything wrong with stay-home wives. So if your husband is making enough money, or shit, these days, if your wife is making enough money and one of you guys can stay at home with your child, there is no shame in that. It's a beauty in this economy to say that you're able to have a stay-home parent who's fully present for the child. And people these days want to shame you because women are supposed to have, no, 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 no. I love working. I couldn't stay home and do nothing, but there's no shame in it. If you're a stay-home wife, more power to you taking care of your children and your home, because there's nothing wrong with that, like at all. If that's what your life ambitions are, I think there's no shame in it. It doesn't make you less. And I think today we try to make you have to like be this boss babe. It's not for everyone. And that's okay. It's like there's nothing unsexy about being. I wish I could be a stay-home wife, be built to be home and like making bread from scratch. But it's not me. I like the idea of making bread from scratch and I want to do it, but more on the weekends. But if that's what you're doing all day and you're taking care of your family and you're able to financially, bro, you've won, because your child is going to be better off for it than anything else. So I think honestly, a big problem now is shaming women for being stay-home wives, or, oh my God, homeschool. If you're the one who's doing the homeschooling and you're not hiring, you know what? You're like a G, because I wouldn't even have the patience to homeschool. But I wish I could like if we had a kid now, I would want to homeschool them, but we would have to hire someone because I don't have the patience. But if you have the patience to do it, and I think it's better. So I think there's no shame in your dream being a stay-home wife. I think there's more power to that. And if your dream is to be a boss babe, then that's great too. Whatever floats your boat. But let's stop shaming women who want to stay home and conservative values. I think that needs to like stop.
I don't know. I don't believe that there is a shaming. I don't think that's a shaming
There
thing.
is like, and in different ways now. And it's not only like women or men, there's also the shaming of like, you should want more. They shouldn't put you in this. This is the 1950s. There's nothing wrong with staying home and taking care of your family, then. If you can afford it. You know how many people can afford this in this day? So if you can, like, why not? But then Chris will tell you that he doesn't understand stay-home wife. So, Chris, why don't you talk to us about that?
My view on the stay-home wife thing is just that, I don't know, I find you just have too much time on your hands, especially if the kids, let's say they're at school, what are you doing the rest of your day? Or when the kids grow up, then what are you doing with your life? Besides, then you just get lonely. You'd be just waiting on your partner to come home and annoy him.
That, yes. I could see that part after the
Especially if you
kids.
don't have hobbies, you don't have anything to do. It's like kind of like having like, I don't know, it's just a bad example, but it's kind of like you're having a dog and the dog just like, the minute you're there, just like, I want your attention and just like, sometimes just, I'm just doing me, because you've been waiting all day for me. Doesn't mean that like, all right, I'm here.
But that's because you look at the worst outcome of it, the worst
Yeah, I'm not
scenario.
saying, definitely not saying that housewives are bad. The whole home clean, cooking, that part's amazing. And taking in the kids, that part is very important. But I'm just saying that I guess the after,
Eventually.
eventually, especially the after part, because you've spent so much time and not doing anything, then it's like, all right, what's left in that next step in life, which is definitely going to happen. Your kid wants to get probably like maybe 16, like it's over. Then what?
Yeah, because they don't want to have anything to do with you.
Well, not only that, but then you're not dropping anymore because especially if you can afford it, you're going to get them a car. So then no more drop offs anymore. There's no more pickups. There's no whatever. And that's weird. You actually said they don't even want to be with you anymore at that point. So then what then?
But that's when that self-development and self-love part that I was talking about earlier comes in. If you have found yourself and you're able to be with yourself, and I guess that's the part you said, if you have hobbies, then you should be Gucci.
That also depends if you have a husband that pushes you to get out of that bubble, because there's some women some husband like, no, 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 stay your ass home. Don't do nothing. Don't go nowhere. Stay home, watch TV.
Yeah, but then that's an unhealthy relationship, and that's something completely different.
Yeah, but I wouldn't want to say that's the majority, but that's a lot of what happens is that the husband wants you home for a certain reason, and that's to stay, be quiet, stay out of trouble, and just stay in the bubble I want you in.
Okay, that's extreme conservative, and yeah, that's not what I'm for.
But
that's why I said I'm like modern conservative.
But let's be honest, most of the
bit of most.
conservatives are more like that. And
I see
the
what you mean.
conservatives tend to be the ones who want you to stay home. I could be wrong.
and do nothing.
I don't do this. I don't do stats. I'm just saying what I believe.
That's true. I don't know. But so my view is a little bit modern and conservative. That's how I see things.
But in today's day and age, I believe that the home wives have a certain role that could be filled because there's so much things that could be done at home now if you have a supportive husband to do little side hustles that maybe eventually once they
While the kids are at school.
while the kids are at school, you know, the crafting stuff, the selling stuff on Etsy, which kind of we do too. You know, you're building little things. You have a little machine at home. You build little products. You do your cups, your mugs, whatever it is. You do sewing. You do little signage for weddings or whatever it is. You find your little thing that you could work in between that time or at nighttime when the kids don't do anything. Husbands might see it as a distraction, but you know, it's something to keep you busy. I think being mentally busy is important because it builds confidence. I think seeing you doing something more than just being a housewife or whatever it is. I think it has a morality boost that you lack when you're just doing a certain thing because you want to feel appreciated. And let's be realistic, a lot of times you don't get that. So I think once you get more appreciated outside of your circle than in your circle a lot of times. Like, let's say in maybe business, the people who tend to like you more, even in the podcast, you might see way more people appreciate us in this podcast than people who you know. Or your best your best customers tend to be strangers. I don't know why it's like that. People you know for, I don't know, 20 years will never give you an order, but people you've met 2 minutes ago, they love you and everything. And it's crazy how things work. I mean, that's just life. I mean, it's nothing personal. It's just how things are. I don't know why it's like that, but never in business, never depend on your friends or family to get you anywhere. Because, you know, if you go into business thinking that's how it's going to work out, they're going to give you referrals and all that stuff, it's not going to happen. I've seen so many businesses like that thinking that it's going to work that way, and it really doesn't for whatever reason. I don't know why. That's just how it is.
And you'll see a lot of stats about that online. Like, and people will tell you, like, yeah, it's not your friends and family, it's always strangers. I guess we also have taboo conversations, but I feel like we've covered everything. We've covered a lot.
I think we've covered a lot already as far as our view.
You guys know a little bit about us and our vibe. I'm Kirsty Cappy. Chris is I'm awesome Chris. You know, our son calls him Mr. Right. I'm always Mr. Right.
I'm always right, unfortunately.
No, he thinks he's always right.
Suckers.
Oh, no. Yeah, so this is us in the wild. This is Chris and Cappy, and yeah, this is it. I don't know what else to say. Like Chris said, if you have any topics you want us to cover, if you have any questions, leave it. Please follow us on whatever is available. We'll be updating the site with the post, and when we have like facts and stuff like that, we'll try to put like stuff on the site. So check in the site, www.bondandbillpodcast.com.
Join us on social media. It'll be the same thing, Bond and Bill Podcast we're on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook.
The YouTube.
I'm assuming we'll also do audio podcasts as well.
Yeah,
so
all
I guess
the regular
Spotify, all the main
channels.
ones. I think YouTube also has podcasts now, I believe.
Yeah, we'll figure it out as we go. You guys are here with us figuring it out because we have no idea.
Episode 0.
Episode 0. So this is us. If you stayed the whole way, thank you so much for hanging with us. Hopefully there's somebody listening to this.
Lots of people.
That's right. We got to manifest it, guys. We're manifesting this. But yeah, I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to do this with the hubby as I do everything else with the hubby. And I'm excited to be here with you guys. And I'm excited to hopefully form a community and a tribe of awesome people.
Definitely. Let's bond and build together with Chris and Cappy.
We're out.